Hey guys, welcome back to my channel again. My name is Arsalan and today we are on day 45th of solving the object-oriented programming system questions with the help of Python. So if you are very new to this playlist, let me give you a very brief introduction of what this playlist is all about. In this playlist, we have been solving questions based on object-oriented programming. We started from a very basic idea, very basic logic, very basic understanding of object-oriented programming with a very basic question, and then we move on to day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, so on and so forth. We just have been increasing the bar like anything. We just started from a very basic question on day 1 and then we have been increasing the bar like anything. Now on day 45 we have a question on hybrid inheritance. We have just done question on many types of inheritance, and today I have just introduced the concept of hybrid inheritance. In hybrid inheritance we will be discussing today, and we have already discussed many type of inheritance including single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, multiple inheritance, hierarchical inheritance. We have done multiple questions on all of these inheritance, and today I have introduced a concept of hybrid inheritance and we will be discussing this topic, and then also we will be doing question based on hybrid inheritance. First of all, we will be discussing the concept of hybrid inheritance, and then we will be moving further with a question and then solving the question out, and then we will be doing it for a couple of days to understand and gain a logic and understanding in hybrid inheritance. So if you are very new to this playlist, please do subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, press the bell icon button and bookmark the playlist so that you can get the updates from the channel. So now let's start with discussing the concept of hybrid inheritance. So hybrid inheritance is a combination of multiple type of inheritance. It can involve any combination of single, multiple, multi-level or hierarchical inheritance. So far we have learned about single inheritance, multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance. So now we have to understand hybrid inheritance. So as the statement says that hybrid inheritance is a combination of multiple type of inheritance. It means that when you try to just include all of the means multiple type of inheritance in a single code, it is hybrid inheritance. What I mean to say is that there is a single parent class and you want to just include multiple type of inheritance, then you can just that is called hybrid inheritance. Let's understand this concept with an example with a basic structure of how the things goes in hybrid inheritance. First of all, let's focus on the base class. There is a base class called base. So let's focus on this class. So I have created a basic structure here. In this basic structure there is a class called base, and this class does not do anything. It just prints out the statement says this is the base class. All right, so this is the base class. Now we have a child class that is a single inheritance. All right, so this is a single inheritance example. So this is inheriting from base class, and now this is child class 2. So this child 2 base also inheriting from base class. So this is inheriting child 2 is inheriting from base 2, child 1 is also inheriting from base. I mean to say that child 1 is also inheriting from base, child 2 is also inheriting from base. So this is an example of hierarchical inheritance where there is a single parent class and this is an example of single inheritance, which why it's a example of single inheritance, because there is only one parent class and it has two multiple classes. All right, so there are two types of child classes, child 1, child 2, and it has a single parent. This is an example of hierarchical inheritance. So as you can see, this is an example of hierarchical inheritance. Let's move further from here and see that there is a grandchild inheriting from both child 1 and child 2. So this is an example of uh, this multiple inheritance. This is an example of multiple inheritance. Why it's an example of multiple inheritance? Because a single child is inheriting from two different parents. So the two different parents are child 1 and child 2. So this is an example of a multiple inheritance. So I hope that you've understood the concept of single inheritance, multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance. If you do so, you will be able to understand this concept too, because this is simple. This is nothing, just the mixture of multiple inheritances. So grandchild is inheriting from child 1 and child 2. So now this is an example of as we have already discussed, this is an example of multiple inheritance. The previous example was hierarchical inheritance. As you can see, there is two combination of multiple inheritance and hierarchical inheritance. So that's why it's called a hybrid, because it's a combination, it's a mixture of multiple inheritances. We have just two types of inheritances here, so this is an example of hybrid inheritance. So I hope that you have understood this. If you run this code, you will be getting the values according to the inheritance. So as you can see, the child 2 represent, this is child 2, the child 1 represent that this is a child 1, and then this is the method where it is representing display grandchild. This is a grandchild class, so it's doing nothing but it's just representing that this is child 1 or this is child 2 or this is a base class or this is a grandchild class. So we have understood the basic structure of the hybrid inheritance. Now when we do some questions based on hybrid inheritance, you will be just gaining more understanding and you will be getting more clarity of the topic. So now let's start solving this question, guys. So the question says, create a base class called shape. The shape class should have a method called area that returns 0. So first of all, we will be creating a parent class, or you can say a base class. You will be creating a base class here. So let's comment out here that this is a parent class or a base class. So parent class, so this is my parent class here, and the name of the parent class we have to create is a shape. Then we have to include a method that returns 0. So let's do that first. So class shape, and this method does not do anything, it's just simply return uh, it just return me a value of 0, return 0. So it is as simple as that this shape class is returning me a value of 0. Now if you see, create two derived class called rectangle and circle. So now we have to create two derived class. So this there are two child classes, so child class 1 and then we have child class 2, and these two are derived class. So this is an example of hierarchical inheritance where a multiple class inherits from a single parent class. So we will be just naming rectangle here, rectangle first, and as we know that it will be inheriting from a parent class, that is a shape class, so we will be closing it by a parenthesis, and inside this parenthesis, inside those parentheses, we will be writing the name of the parent class. So we will be writing shape here, and then we will be just writing a method in which we will be overriding, or we will be taking an additional attribute. Okay, first of all, let's pass this value and we will be seeing what the method will be doing. So first let's pass this, and I will be doing the same for the circle here as well. So circle shape, and I will pass this value again, and then after passing this, we have to see what the rectangle method is asking. So the rectangle class inherits from shape and have additional attributes width and height. Implement the area method in the rectangle class to calculate and return the area of the rectangle. So to do this, we will be just introducing a definite function here. So definite, it will be taking my instance attribute, and then I will be writing here a width and height, and I will be just writing it like this, self dot width is equals to width, and self dot height is equals to height. All right, Now we have two instance attribute in our rectangle method, and this method, these attributes will be used in the method called area. So I will be creating a method called area here, and then I will be writing it like return me self dot height into self dot width. All right, width. It should be width, and I have written it wrong in my previous code. So now it's correct. And similarly, I will be doing the same thing for circle, and I will be changing the pass into definite, and then I will be taking a radius here according to the question. As you can see here, that the circle class should inherit from shape and have an additional attribute radius. Implement the area method in the circle class to calculate and return the area of the circle. Alright, so as we did the thing, as we created the method for area, we will be circle, as we did the method for rectangle, we will be doing it for the circle as well. So def area self, and now I will be returning 22 by 7, 22 divided by 7 multiply by this is the value of pi, so it should be self dot radius square. So I will be doing it like this. So pi r square is the formula to calculate the area of the circle. So pi is 22 by 7, and then I have to just write it like this: self dot radius is equals to radius as well. After doing this, I have created my radius function for circle as well. Now I have to finally create a square class that inherits from both rectangle and circle. The class should have an additional attribute side length. Implement the area method in the square class to calculate and return the area of the square using the formula side length side length square. So let's create a grandchild 1, or you can say grandchild, and its name is, we all know it's square, so I will be writing a square, and it will be inheriting from both rectangle and circle. So we will be writing rectangle, and then I will be writing circle here, circle. And after doing this, so this is an example of multiple inheritance, because I'm inheriting from two different parent class. So the square has parent class of circle and rectangle now. Alright, and now I will be writing definite here. The moment I will be pressing definite, you will be seeing that I am getting width and height, but I may also require radius. But right now, let's see what the question is asking. The square should have an additional attribute side length, so we do not require it actually. We just need to just put side length here, side length length, and I have to write side length self dot side length, in fact self dot side length is equals to side length, and I have to return a method. I have to create a method first, then I will be returning a method. And area, inside this I will be writing self here, and I will be returning side length square. So I can just write side length self dot side length into self dot side length, or you can just write it like this too. So both are correct to calculate the area of the square. All right, so I did it like this because the question says like this, so I just created like this. You can also write side length into side length, that will also give you the same result. Now let's create an instance of square. A is equals to, let's say, or you can say A B C D is equals to a square, and inside this square I'll be taking three attributes. First it's width, so let's say 20 is the width, and 30 is the height, and then we have to take side length. So let's say 4 is the side length, and I will be just returning printing the method print A B C D dot area and close it by parenthesis, and it should give me a value as 16. So it's saying required one position argument. So yeah, we have forgotten to put the radius here. So well, actually we do not require radius here. We are just using side length here, so we can just remove it instead of writing it. So if I do it like this, and then also removing superint function because we are not using it, and we already know that what the superint function does for us is that superint function allow us to use the functionality from our parent class. So so if we want to use the functionality from our parent class, we uses the superint keyword, superint function, so that we can use the attributes, you can use the instance, we can use the methods from our parent class. So now if I run this code, it should work fine. And one more thing I will be doing here is that I will be removing these two extra arguments from here because I'm just taking one argument in my square method. So now if I run this, it will be giving me 16. Let's first of all comment the upper example code here from here, so that so that we do not so that we can code them separately. And now I'm getting 16. Let's do it like this. First of all, instead of this I will be writing an f string here, and I will be returning an f string here, and I will be returning an f string here. So return me an f string, and then I will be writing a curly braces here. Then I will be writing area and something like this. Now it should run, it should give me a more readable value. So now area is 16, and I can create instances for my rectangle and square as well. So now as you can see the hierarchy of the question, that first of all we create a hierarchical inheritance, and then we created from those hierarchical inheritance classes, we created our grandchild that is an example of multiple inheritance. So this is an example of hybrid inheritance, where first of all we created a parent class, and from that parent class we created two child classes. First was rectangle and second was circle, and from those two classes we created our grandchild that is square, and that square is inheriting from rectangle and also inheriting from circle. So now you can see that a hybrid inheritance is a mixture of multiple inheritance. So I hope that you've understood this question, and you were able to solve this question. So this is an example of hybrid inheritance. I hope that you've liked this tutorial. If you have any doubt, ask me in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching this video, and see you next time.